Exactly. I love it how we already start off and Chuck is already frozen, man. Thank you. We needed our intro this whole time, and now we got it. So, having said that, now he sounds like a robot, man.
So our special artist spotlight today, T-Pain.
Yeah, we got T-Pain. So we like to welcome T-Pain to another episode of Not a Strong Start, a podcast set by three filmmakers that love to talk movies, television, and anything in between. I'm your host, Jose R.
I just noticed that, you bastards.
I wanted to see. There he goes. Now he's unfrozen. Yeah, what the heck?
I am not your host, Jose Ramos.
So now we have
J Ramos.
J Ramos. What's that? So in this week's episode, we are talking about zombies, and more zombies. In case one or two zombies wasn't enough, and it's not just that it's zombies squared, it's the trifecta of zombies. And now he's stuck with his nipples out. Man, seriously, we need to GoFundMe. We do have a sponsorship on our streaming platform on Anchor.fm. So if anybody wants to go ahead and donate some money to our podcast, you can. And the very first thing you would go to is towards Chuck's Wi-Fi.
He's using a mobile hotspot from an old Nokia.
Does it still have the snake game on there? Or no.
He's frozen in 5 different expressions so far. He was angry Chuck, serious Chuck, scared Chuck,
horny Chuck because he had the nipples out.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what this fifth face is. This fifth one kind of confuses me.
This is unamused Chuck.
Unamused. Would this also be the zombie? Okay, Jose, I have a question for you. If Chuck was to be a zombie and we have the 5 different faces, which one is zombie Chuck?
Oh, this is definitely zombie Chuck, unamused Chuck right here.
Yeah.
Just imagine him coming at you with that expression. It's like, wait, what are you thinking?
What the hell? Now there's
no.
How is there 2?
Oh, no. He's duplicated.
They're spawning now.
Oh my God. I have a hat now, so there's 2 different ones.
Oh my God, there's
look, it even says
Chuck.
J Ramos and Charles. What the hell? What are we doing?
He just multiplied.
We can't get rid of them, man. So now we have the current events.
WB and Discover actually merged together.
So WB is Warner Brothers.
Yes, Warner Brothers and Discovery actually joined together, creating one big company. So all the properties of both companies are all under one umbrella. So it's curious to see what that's going to mean going forward, because I'm sure some leadership is going to shift around in both companies, because you're probably going to have redundant positions. A lot of times when you get these mergers, you get consolidation. So we'll see how that's going to affect the people in charge, and then how that's going to affect the content going forward.
Yeah, I noticed that with it already affected HBO Max, right? Because they're tied into that, because some of their higher ups already started getting let go.
Yeah, and they're going to mix both their streaming services into one, because there's a Discover Plus and there's HBO Max. So I think they're going to join them together into one. And there's murmurings going around and whispers that they want to try to make some changes to the WB properties, mainly their DC hero properties, because they feel that they are wasting a lot of potentials with that property now. So they want to use it more, whether it's through movies, TV shows, cartoons, video games. Like they want to make more video games from it. They're like, we have all this valuable content that we have under the DC brand that we're not using. So that's one of the things supposedly is going to be in the forefront over the next few years.
That's pretty interesting, man. So right now you said it's Discover, right? Discovery?
Discovery, yes.
So
Yeah, so all the
it's the
nature channel
right?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. So you would assume then that Warner Brothers bought them out, or is Discovery like a big dog? Like if they're
Yeah,
merging.
I think it's a straight merger, not a buyout. I remember hearing rumors that it's been on the block for years. Or they've also been supposedly trying to unload assets too, because it wasn't WB owned by AT&T, and wasn't AT&T going to sell them
Yeah.
also? So I know that they've supposedly been on the block for a while, and then there was rumors for a while that Disney might buy DC and that Apple might buy DC, that they were looking to unload some assets.
That'd be cool. I've been watching Peacemaker.
Hey, and what do you think?
Um, there's some things about it that annoy me. It's just James Gunn stuff. Don't ask me what, because I don't know. But there's some things like it's just too cute sometimes. But like, it's good. Cena's growing on me. So is his character. It's good. I like it. So I got like an episode and a half left, maybe. So
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Yeah,
I
finally.
stand corrected. It's good. It's good. And I actually like the opening now. I don't skip it. I watch it every
Yes.
time. I'm all. It's one of those things though. Maybe it's like a car crash. You got to watch it. But I watch it. So
It's funny, man. Especially when you have the blonde or James Gunn's girlfriend, right? Or wife.
Wife.
Wife now. Yeah, when she comes out doing her dancing, that's always
she's
she sells it so well, man.
yeah.
I fall for it every time. And like usually with intros, I usually skip them, except if it's something like a Breaking Bad where it's like super quick. Then like whatever. I don't. By
Yeah.
the time you go try to hit skip intro, it's already on the thing. That one I actually like watching it, man. It's funny.
Yeah, I skip all, and the only intro I think I never really skipped was Daredevil on Netflix. I liked that intro. I liked the music and the way it looked. I always watched it. Everything else, just skip it.
So get into our episode. We're talking about The Walking Dead and zombies. Zombies, zombies, zombies. So first of all, The Walking Dead. Excuse me. That's gonna get
dude, that better
trying to
stay in there. All the shit that I do that stays in, that's staying in, dude.
Yeah, but this is what you do though. You'll do this as me and Jose are sitting there talking. You just go, you start eating mints. It's like, why is Chuck eating a mint when nobody can smell his breath? Nobody can smell his breath.
It's not about that. I don't want my mouth to be like dry or whatever, and it sort of became a thing now. So I do.
I would say this: if Dan were to make that cough in a zombie movie or show, we're looking at him a little weird.
Yeah, or we'd all be dead because he just fucking told all the zombies where we're at. So, like,
Either way, to win.
Would
Would you want to turn into a zombie if you had the idea, like you were able to keep your conscious, right? You could still be you. Would you want to kind of turn into a zombie?
No, the whole rotting thing just doesn't seem
no,
like
Daniel.
fun.
Actually, I'm Jose R. Get it right.
Hold on, I gotta check. Who am I? Oh, I'm Charles Bernal again, man.
Come on, man. The other one was funnier.
Yeah, hold on. I'm
Jay
changing.
Ramos was like a different vibe, man. We need to get
died.
viewers in.
He died.
He did. I know. He got consumed by the other. So when he talked about WB merging with Discovery, Jay Ramos merged with Charles Bernal, and now we're back to Jay Ramos again.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Watch his internet go again.
That'd be awesome. So it's basically like Dawn of the Dead, man. It's coming back. It's getting rebooted. The Living Dead. Anyway, so The Walking Dead. First of all, have you guys watched it? Did you guys watch it all the way through?
No, I gave up after season 6 or 7, I think.
Oh, you lasted that long. I thought you were like 6 or 7 episodes.
No, you know what? I read most of the comics, and I loved them. They were great. And then when it transferred over to the show, it was completely different, which I'm okay with. Like sometimes I don't want to see the same thing I read, right? Some people are like, I want it to be exactly like this, but I was okay with it that it was different, but I just feel like they dropped the ball a lot. Like with like the governor, he was so badass and ruthless in the books, and he was Mexican. And then in the show, they make him this soft dude, and he's like British or I don't know what he is, but he wasn't Mexican. I'll tell you that much. And he was soft, saying, like. And I from there, I already was like, they lost me, but I stuck around a little bit, and And then once they blew like the whole Negan, like it was okay. You know, I mean, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but I didn't want it to be the same, but I wanted it to be good, and it wasn't. And I got bored, and I gave up.
Got it. Good. So for people that have watched the show, that made so much sense. For people that have never seen it, Jay Ramos is just spewing a bunch of just tidbits at you, and you have no idea what that means.
Yeah,
So,
I'm assuming everybody's seen it, and if you haven't seen it, watch the first season, and then you're probably okay.
I only went. I know Jose watched more of it, so I'll give you it to last, Jose. But for me, it was I stopped to the second season. It was good, but the second season they were stuck like in a barn, I think, right? Something like that, or
Farm.
like a
Yeah,
farm.
that's the farm season.
Yeah, and people always tell me just get past it. And I know I think season 3 or 4 they start to go to the prison and it's supposed to get better, but to me, I just don't have that much time, man. Like, so I'm very selective about what TV shows I get into, especially ones that have a huge amount of seasons. It's just I get so busy with, just side projects, stuff that I constantly work on in my own life. So I get really selective about it. So usually shows that have like 10 episodes per season, and they usually just do a couple of seasons that are really good. Those are perfect for me. So Walking Dead, it's something I'm going to get back into. I hear the graphic novels are super cool. I haven't checked them out yet, so I'll do that.
Those are good. If you were gonna pick one, do the graphic novels. I have them all too, so they're so good.
Yeah, I've kept up with it. So I've seen the entirety of it and the spin-offs in it. Yeah, so they had one current spin-off that for a while was actually better than the main one. And then they had a 2-season spin-off that's already over. It was specifically for 2 season. So yeah,
Is that good?
It was good for what it was meant to do. It's just meant to fill in the gaps for when the movies come out, you kind of have some background. So it was good in doing that aspect. If it wasn't linked to anything else, it had its moments. Season 2 was better. So, but yeah, no, I've caught up on the whole thing. But I have to say, not all of it has been great. That you've got the first season was really good. As Dan mentioned, the second season, it kind of bogs down a little bit, slows down, and that's the farm season. Then it kind of picks up for a few seasons. And then after like season 4 or 5, it kind of starts going through that where you have like one good season and then one bad season. Then they had like 3 bad seasons in a row. And then the last 2 seasons is picked up again. So it's very ebb and flow and inconsistent. But it's like you get to a point, at least with me personally, I get to a point with a show where it's just like, I'm stuck for the long run.
And did you read the graphic novels?
No, because I was watching the show, I owned them, but because I was watching the show, I was like, I don't like to mix both. If I'm reading something, I'm kind of iffy about watching it. If I'm watching something, I'm kind of iffy about reading it. I kind of just like to get one avenue completely out of the way, and then I might visit the other avenue. So because of that, I didn't, because sometimes when people are recreating these things, they like to jump around with certain story arcs. So they might in the comics, there might be a story arc that's towards the end, but the TV show might pull it in towards the beginning. And I didn't want that getting ruined for me as a viewer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because it's pretty different, which I was 100% okay with, but man, it just they just did not stick the landing. You know, or at least not while it was happening, but maybe they will. I was already kind of done with the show, but I stuck around for Rick Grimes. And then once he was gone, I was like, I have nothing left here. Like, it's kind of like the Fast and Furious. Once Paul Walker was gone, I was done. So
you survived that long?
I did. I loved that guy, dude. He was awesome. I liked his character. And then once he was gone, I had no reason to go. Like, I didn't see anything that he has been in.
Did that make you cry?
When he died?
The scene where they do the separation. Did you cry?
Yeah.
You cried.
Yeah. Like, whenever I'm feeling like a little emotional and I feel like and you know, if I just could cry, I could probably feel a little bit better.
You play the Wiz
I'll
Khalifa
throw that
songs.
on. Yeah, I'll throw it on. Yeah. It does the trick usually.
Getting back on the topic of the Walking Dead, I mean, the show's been successful. What do you guys think has led to its success from the beginning and its longevity up to this point? I mean, because the main show is up at season 11 right now.
Yeah, man. I think so. When The Walking Dead came out, I didn't know much about the graphic novel at the time. Like I knew it existed, but I didn't really know much about it. And I think when Zombies first came out, it had this deep rooted horror trope, right? As you know, as you see Night of the Living Dead and everything behind you. Then they did so much of that, it started getting like this B level, C level, where it kind of lost a lot of credibility for a little bit. You know,
Mhm.
in my opinion, it's just true horror fans loved it, but you weren't really getting a lot of mainstream stuff. I think with The Walking Dead, they legitimized it a lot. You had really good actors, you had really good storylines, you had really good writing. It started kind of adding more credence to it, which has kind of branched off and started making more legitimate movies. And then we started getting more A-list type projects that were coming out, even casting people like Brad Pitt. So I think that anytime you can get really, really good writing, you can make a concept that sounds ridiculous a lot more legitimate. Breaking Bad is one, right? If I was to tell you, oh, it's gonna be a teacher making meth, it sounds ridiculous. You watch the show and it's like, holy crap, this show's really damn good, man. It's really awesome. It makes it a lot more interesting. And then you started getting like random spin-offs of kind of similar shows like that, you know. So
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think because when the show came out, we were already in the midst of like the zombie like period. What would you guys say? I think that whole influx of zombies probably started in like the early 2000s. We had like 28 Days Later and like all of those Dawn of the Dead, the remake. That's when it really started. Now, Walking Dead came like 10 years later. It came like 2010.
yeah.
But I think by that point, even though there was we were starting this like zombie fatigue at that time, because it's been like 10 years, we were in this zombies, everything, but we had everything: zombie rom-coms, zombie horror, zombie drama, zombie comedies. But that was, I think, the first zombie show that I recall actually happening. Like now we have a lot more, but that was like the first one. That's what made that one different. It was like a TV show, a series that you can follow like every week. So I think that's part of what led to the initial success. And then a lot of people like me just got caught in like, we're stuck now. We got to finish it.
Yeah.
I don't think they showed stuff like that at that time either. Like AMC kind of came out with because that's Breaking Bad too, right? AMC.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they were kind of coming out with stuff that people were like, "Whoa, this hasn't been like on TV before," and I think a lot of people were totally into that, So I know I was like, "Whoa, zombies and they're showing this shit on here on regular TV, dope," And so yeah, I was into it. So
Yeah, and I think a big point too is that usually when you have zombie movies, that major emphasis is on the zombies, right? The people are there stuck in a location, zombies are trying to kill them. It's a very simple kind of storyline, just survival of the fittest. With The Walking Dead, it wasn't just about the zombies every single episode. You had a lot of good character development. It kind of reminded me a little bit like Lost. I don't know if you guys saw Lost, but you had the people stuck on an island, they're trying to escape, but you saw a lot of the dynamics between the people, and that's what started growing a lot. And just like how The Walking Dead got you, Lost got me. First seasons, I was like, this is amazing. Then season 3, 4, and I was just like, damn, this show sucks. And like they started adding a definitive, like, okay, we're gonna end in 6 seasons. And I was like, damn it, you got me. Now I have to finish watching it. And then when I saw at the end, I'm like, yeah, I really should have stopped after season 2, man. But
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, you couldn't leave that show because by the time you got to season 3, you were like, all right, I've got my 4 answered questions, but I have the other 107 questions that they've like left in me, which were never answered.
No,
So
and they actually added more. They added 1,000 more questions, and like they don't get to any of them.
Yeah.
Like, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
but it's true. But like I feel with this show and Chuck, because you've seen through like season 6, so
Right.
you let me know if you agree. I think the main problem, the seasons that suffered with Walking Dead, beyond sometimes them making changes to the source material that people didn't like, was the stretching of content.
Yeah.
So there was storylines that they literally could have done in one season, but they would stretch it over 2 seasons, or things that could have been done in half a season to stretch over a whole season. So you end up with 3 episodes in the middle of a season where it's just people talking and the story not progressing, just so they can squeeze in that mid-season finale to get you hooked to come back again. And then something they could have done in 2 episodes stretches another 8 episodes. And that's where Walking Dead used to run into a problem, where it used to be like, oh, we got all this good content. We don't want to use it all up. Let's just take 2 seasons to finish one story arc.
Yeah. It's like those Zoom meetings that could have been an email. You know?
Wait, are you directly referencing our podcast?
No, I said Zoom meeting. Yeah, no, they, if those seasons were like 10 episodes long, dude, they would be fired, like they would be so good, but they stretch it out, what, like 16, 8, I don't even know. And they have like 2 seasons, the mid-season finale, and it comes back a few months later, and then it leaves you off on another cliffhanger, and they barely answer. You get like 8 questions, they answer like 1.5, and it's like with all of it, even when Negan came out, like they didn't even really like show him. It was like this huge lead up to like the super big bad villain from the graphic novels.
Mm.
And spoiler alert, he kills a main character from the show, from the story, from the book. And they don't even show it. Do you remember that, Jose? Like at the end, they show him, he picks up the bat, and then black screen, and you hear somebody getting hit, and then you're done for like almost a year. Like they did that over and over, and it was so frustrating, because they just, like Jose said, they stretched it out and they didn't give you anything, and then they just kind of get you to come back, and then it was just more of the same. And that's when I was like, I'm done.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you with you guys, because with zombies, they're so limited in what they can do. There's not so much complex strategy. That does the show take that? I mean, you just mentioned a big villain. Is there other instances, or is it primarily just the same brainless zombies trying to kill them over and over?
The villain, this is the thing which is I think what made the show great, was zombies was almost like a backdrop to this story about people and human nature and whatnot. And so the villains of the show were other people. They weren't really the zombies. There were people like in that world that were just evil. And the whole zombie apocalypse really brought that out. And that was the scary part. The zombies weren't scary. It was like the shit that these people did to each other that was scary, once there was no laws and no one cared. It was just, a zombie apocalypse. That was it. So that's, I think that was very intriguing about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like Chuck is saying, the zombies, as the show has gone on, their threat has progressively decreased to the survivors in there. As one, they've learned to dispose of zombies better. They've learned to defend themselves and things like that become less of a threat. To the point now where zombies are just nothing more but like a minor inconvenience. Like, oh, you guys are in my fucking way. All right, let me just quickly stab all 5 of you in the head and move on to the human target that I need to get. So it's become a show about evil humans and how bad they are to each other, and then zombies just happen to live in it. The only time zombies really become a problem now is when you have a horde and you're trapped in the building, and it's like, okay, now there's too many for you to take out. But 10, 15 zombies, not a problem.
And I think that's where the appeal of the show comes in terms of continuity, right? That's how you're able to keep it going, because if you just made it about just the zombies, it's gonna get overkill, which is typically why they kept it to movies. So I think that's how they were able to capitalize off the show.
Yeah, especially if the zombies are not they're not developing, they're not becoming a bigger threat or anything. Although, spoiler alert, in that spin-off that they had, the 2 seasons that leads to the movies, at the end of that, they had an end credit where shows a possible evolutions to the zombies.
Got it. Okay. You always got to see something like that. So, Now that we've talked about The Walking Dead, what are some of the film zombie movies that you guys see that you guys, really recommend? Some you guys really loved?
Uh, 28 Days Later for me, I think
I love
that
28
might be
Days
my
Later.
favorite
Mhm.
zombie movie, and it was cool because at that time, you had like Night of the Living Dead zombies, they're just kind of like brains, I'm slow, here you go, and then with 28 Days Later, they were fast, they were quick, they were, it was like fast zombies, which was
Yeah.
scary. Those zombies were scary, and they, God, what did they have, Jose and Dan? What was it called? What
Th-
was the
th- th-
virus called?
that was more. It was more like a rage virus. It
Rage
wasn't like a
virus.
Yeah.
coming back from the dead
Yeah.
type zombies. So we started seeing people getting creative with the whole zombie concept and
Yeah.
how they became zombies and you undead versus virus zombies and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So you start seeing some variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the virus aspect is what made it so much more horrific to me with these type of movies because it seems so realistic, right? We have chemical warfare that happens now. It's something like that. You can really see that happening, them creating something like that. So it's scary. Yeah, 28 Days Later was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like I always said, like if there was to ever be a zombie apocalypse, I don't think it would come from, bodies rising from the grave and like that
No.
aspect. It would be like some like government experiment gone wrong that releases a virus, and all of a sudden we get all these zombies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember, I don't remember how many years ago it was. There was like a summer there where people started believing like, holy shit, this is it. Because there
Mhm.
was like three isolated incidences that people were like, wait, no, this is a pattern. There was
Yeah.
like somewhere in the south, this woman got a bacteria when she like went into like a pond or a swamp that was actually eating at her flesh.
Yeah.
So like that happened, and I think within that month, there was that Florida guy who took like 4 shots to the chest like nothing after he was eating another person on the
Mhm.
street.
I think I
And they were
remember
like,
that.
yeah, they were like, this is it. It was like the bath salts incidents, and they're like, this is
That's
how
the
the zombie
thing, man.
apocalypse starts.
The bath salts, man. Them doing bath salts, and all of a sudden they're tearing people's faces off and acting so zombie like. It was like, man, so it's all because you're just trying to chase a high. That's what starts the zombie apocalypse.
I gotta
I
say,
believe
dude,
it though.
I think there's a percentage of people out there that actually want a zombie apocalypse. Like,
Oh, there's a lot. Middle America, they have a bunch
yeah,
of guns they just been waiting for.
no,
They're
I
waiting for
know.
that,
My
man.
my
Couple of
brother's just
samurai.
like, dude, you strapped yet? And I'm like, no, dude. He's like,
Yeah,
dude, you gotta be ready in case the shit pops off. And I'm like,
yeah,
you're talking about a zombie apocalypse, right? Because that's the only reason I'm getting a gun,
yeah,
dude. He's
yeah,
like, no, dude, you know how things are.
yeah,
And I'm like, no.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Now, now we can't talk about zombies without talking about George R. Romero and what he did to the zombie, right? He's king of the zombies. Chuck, do you want to talk a little bit about that since you have Night of the Living Dead? Want to talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, I mean that's where it all started, like it started there, and it's like, back what was it, probably was it the 60s, 70s maybe, or
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
like we never really saw anything. We had vampires and werewolves and Frankenstein, and then all of a sudden we got zombies, and it's like, what's this? What's this? And this is amazing,
Yeah.
and he kept it going, and people, other filmmakers like with Zack Snyder, redid some of his stuff. Like that guy's the king, man. So,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, you can't talk about without him, you don't have zombies.
Yeah, we don't have zombies. We don't have The
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
No, man. Or the Thriller video with Michael Michael Jackson. Come on. You got to get zombies, man.
Yeah,
Um,
and in like TV shows and too, I've even heard it referred to
yeah.
when they go full out zombie. It's like they've gone Romero,
Yeah.
and that's how they
Yeah.
refer to it. Like
Yeah. The Romero
the
zombies.
definition of zombie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always that one because when you know it's like the brain dead type of zombies that are a little slower, it's the Romero zombies. That's what they are. And then you almost get the 28-day later ones, which are the fast ones. So you know it's that those ones, the fast ones are the scary ones, man. Because the other ones you feel like you can outrun them, right? And you can come up with strategies. The fast ones, no. The rage ones, hell no, man. You saw the way that imagine if Usain Bolt was a fast
Zombie.
zombie. He's killing everybody, man. Tyreek Hill, they're killing everybody. Hell no. I don't want some of that. So let's talk about some of the tropes of the zombie experience. If you're stuck, huge swarm of zombies that are coming, what are some of the best places to hide that you guys saw in movies?
Costco.
Oh yeah,
At least that's
location.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a mall would be good for a location just because uh resources. You got all
Yeah.
that space, you got resources. If they infiltrate the first floor, then you can always like block off the stairwell and stay on the second floor. There's multiple exits that you can, get away from. You got individual stores that you can lock yourself in with the cage with their own back doors. So I think that that's probably one of the safer ways to
Yeah.
go if you have access to it.
Yeah. A bank would be good if you really wanted that protection, but then you have to bring all of those things with you in there. Something like a mall would be the simplest. How about weapons? If you can have one dream weapon in a zombie apocalypse, what is it, Chuck?
A dream weapon? Can I be invisible?
Not power,
power.
weapon.
I'm weaponizing this power.
No, what do you? You just want to see naked women, man.
I'm gonna be like, hey, watch out for the zombies. What zombies?
What? Then he gets you. It's like, come on, Chuck. Zombie Chuck.
Oh man, I want to say like a sniper rifle, but if I'm trying to like run, I'm not doing much with that, But if I'm set up somewhere,
Okay.
I'll go sniper rifle.
All right. How about you, Jose?
I think all the zombie content that I have watched in my life had taught me that your two best weapons are going to be a sword and a crossbow, because you can really no ammo. The crossbow, you can get your arrows back, so you don't have to worry about bullets or anything like that. So those will probably be the best weapons in the zombie apocalypse.
All right. For me, lightsaber, bro. If I have a dream weapon, I'm using a fucking lightsaber. You can just
set
slice
us
those
up,
fuckers
dude.
up,
You
man.
fucking set us up for that.
Hell yeah. I'm waiting to give me your invisibility weapon that you're gonna weaponize.
I
got a fucking
that power.
lightsaber, man. What are you gonna do with that? Come on, Chuck.
You asshole.
Absolutely. So, what would get you killed faster in a zombie?
That's sex? No, wait, what?
No, that's a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th.
My fact that I'm out of shape.
Your high cholesterol.
Like a high blood pressure. Yeah, no. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm not surviving it at all. But I will survive a little bit longer if I got Romero zombies. But if I got 28 days later zombies, I'm done, dude.
At this point, our creaky knees will give us away.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Or Dan. Oh, like
that was one time, man. Just give me a cough drop and I'm good.
I think I think probably what gets you killed the fastest, besides cardio. I was starting to think of the Zombieland rules.
Yeah.
But it's compassion for others that will get you killed the fastest, especially for infected people.
Yeah. Or if you're like that middle America that you said, that people are just waiting for a zombie apocalypse. They just want to go out there looking like a badass. Yeah. And then they just get attacked. It's like, you didn't see that guy chewing at your ankles. Got him. All right. So, okay. I got a question for you guys. Of the three of us, who would definitely be the one to become a zombie and lie about it? Who would try to cover it up?
Chuck.
Chuck. How about you, Chuck? What's your answer?
It's probably me, dude.
Yeah, probably. Come on, let's not lie to our listeners.
Well, what would you do? What would you do if you got bit and we're all together and like, dude, everybody good? Dan, you good? What are you gonna say? You piece of shit.
I wouldn't say it either, but
that was too long, dude. You're all.
You just seem more likely to get bit. That's it. So who would get most likely to get bit? I'm gonna still say.
Yeah, it would be like, Chuck, run! I gotta adjust my hat first, and then he's dead.
Hold up, dude.
He's trying to connect to Wi-Fi.
Dude. My Wi-Fi's not working. I'm like,
he's gonna freeze.
He's just frozen.
Like, freeze my Wi-Fi, dude.
trying to put on the right Jordans. Like, come on, Chuck, you don't got time for that, man.
Dude, my Jordans are creasing. Hold on, and I stop. Like,
Yes.
I can't go out there. It's muddy.
So who would be the one to most likely live? I'm gonna say Jose.
I'll say Jose.
You've seen so many zombie movies, man. You know.
Yeah, he's stuck with The Walking Dead. He's living.
Yeah.
So.
Because I'm gonna be honest, if it comes down to a zombie apocalypse, I don't give a shit about anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. I believe you.
Like, what about the podcast, Jose? Fuck the podcast.
Fuck the podcast.
You said it was your podcast, Chuck. Take it.
Suck it. I mean, yeah. I mean, Jose is going to a wedding that doesn't even know where it's at. So yeah, fuck everybody else. All right, guys. So what's on the queue?
Hey, everybody, watch Peacemaker. It's really good.
Didn't you use that one already?
I don't know, dude, but it's good though. Just skip the intro and you'll be fine. So.
No, watch the intro. The intro sells you on
the intro, watch a few episodes, and then watch the intro.
And then memorize the moves.
we need to do that in one of our intro episodes. I hope you guys know that. We're gonna do the moves.
I'm in.
Fully. All right. How about you, Jose?
On my queue, I guess sticking with the theme of zombies, something you should put on your queue is Overlord, which I believe they should have on Amazon Prime to view. So it's like zombies, Nazis, and a whole bunch of killing.
That's all you need to know, man. Zombie and Nazis. That's it.
I second that out there. It's really good. Check it out.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's gonna be Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead, man. Like, I think Shaun of the Dead is definitely probably, I think that and 28 Days Later are my top two favorite zombie movies. You know, I love the comedy that they did to it. Edgar Wright's awesome. I love his directing. His editing is really good. But Shaun of the Dead, that British comedy is really good. So for people that aren't huge zombie fans, if we have listeners that aren't huge horror fans, Shaun of the Dead is a really good kind of bridge to watch it because it's not super scary, but it still has really good moments of zombie. You still get your zombie scratch. So yeah.
That's a good choice. That was definitely in my top 3 zombie content.
Okay, nice. So other than that, thank you everybody for watching another episode of Not a Strong Start. You can watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Not a Strong Start. This is your host. On the very bottom, it says Jose R, also known as Daniel the Sangre. You can follow me at King_Sangre, SANGRE.
Jose Ramos. You can find me on IG at This Is Mi Nombre.
And I'm Jay Ramos. You can find me at ChadRadwell12 at Instagram.
Nice. And in case you needed to get anything at all from learning from our show, Chuck would definitely be the one to get bitten, and he would definitely lie about it.